Okay, everybody. I've been off for a while. There's a reason for that. School started for me. I think probably most of you know that working on a master's in math. Long story short, after doing some research, and I can get a good job with a master's in math, but I've determined that I can get a better job with a chemical engineering degree. So I have decided to get a chemical engineering degree, which means that I just turned what it was going to be like 2 years into 3. So anyway, instead of a master's in math, it's a second degree in chemical engineering. So having said that, the reason I've been off is because school started again. So to show you all my books. Oh, there's Slade. Back Slade there. More books. More books. So, hey, so anyway, that's, I've been getting ready for school and then doing school and taking Calculus 1. I think the word calculus says enough. Calculus, it just sounds horrible, doesn't it? I'm retaking chemistry 101 and 102 because I have to take organic and some other stuff, so I needed to retake that because it was like 20 years ago. Taking a computer programming course that'll help me with differential equations later, which I have to take for chemical engineering. And I'm taking my first engineering course. So it's only 12 hours, which, I mean, the whole scheme of things, that's not that many. But, with that, 14 dogs and Phoenix, I don't really have a whole lot of time to do much. So anyway, I'm back. I'm trying to get a quick video in today, before, Phoenix comes home from the parental unit's house because they've been watching her while I've been doing chemistry. So what I want to talk about today is we get a lot of requests for people that are personally surrendering their dogs. And although I do understand that there are some extreme circumstances that cannot be avoided, I get that. But there are a few reasons that I would like to go over that we hear constantly, and I think that people assume that we're going to have sympathy for them because of this. And I just wanted to go over these reasons that and why probably not going to get a lot of sympathy from us over it. It doesn't mean that we won't, which I'm going to go over later. I'm going to tell you some strategies to use if you're trying to rehome your dog and things like that. First of all, and let me just make this very clear, do not tell us if you don't take my dog, I'm taking it to the pound. It is not our fault that we don't have room, that we are all overwhelmed, and do not try to make us feel guilty because you don't have the cojones to put your own damn dog down or rehome it or take care of it. Okay? So if you were willing to take your dog to the pound and have it put down by strangers, that's all about you, not us. Okay. 2, one reason we are always full is because pit bulls are the most abused breed in the nation. Maybe the entire world, but I only know statistics about the nation. In the United States, 30% of all dogs in animal shelters are pit bulls or pit bull mixes. Okay? 30%. Of that 30%, 1 in 500 will find a home. And when I say find a home, that means they got lucky enough to be at a facility that adopts them out, and they got a home. A rescue agreed to pull them. That's it. Two options. So 1 in 500 will find a home. So, also having said that, don't think that if you take your dog to a facility, an animal control facility that's not a rescue, that it is sunshine and rainbows. The reality of it is, if that is a shelter that is either a kill shelter or they don't adopt out pit bulls, what happens is they immediately walk your dog to the back and they euthanize it. So that means that this dog that you loved, it was just like your kid, gets walked in the back, it gets a needle put in its arm, and it dies around total strangers in this chaos of all these dogs barking at it. It's not a pretty picture, but it's the reality. Now, before you get angry at animal control facilities for doing this, you have to understand that there's limited space in any facility, whether it's a no-kill facility, whether it's an animal control facility run by the parish. I mean, it doesn't matter. There's limited space. And what that means is that when there are constantly people dropping off dogs, and I mean constantly, people drop off their dogs constantly. Plus, they're the people that don't take care of their dogs. So they're constantly getting hit, or they're on the side of the road, or they're getting dumped off, and animal control picks it up. They have to make room. Unless you're in the rescue business or you've been in an animal control facility and you've worked around this, then you don't really understand the need to have to make room. One of the reasons that we can't take new dogs in is because, sorry, it's my phone ringing. I forgot to turn it on silent. One of the reasons we don't take new dogs in is because we don't have room. No room. Okay? That means, and when I say I have no room at my house for another dog, that means I have a kennel in every available space. And what that means is there is not another place to even put a kennel. Period. All of our foster homes are full. Two of our foster homes have numerous dogs, like 4 and above of rescue dogs. They can't take with full-time. Okay, so yeah, let me get into this. Okay, so everybody that's in this rescue, we also, me going to school, Megan, our vice president, she is a full-time teacher. Tabitha, who is one of our huge foster moms, she's taking 22 hours this semester. Carrie, another big foster mom, she is a full-time employee at LaBerge, and she works nights with a child as well as and a single mom. So we are all, when we say we're full, it's because we just cannot possibly handle another dog. There's no room to put one, and there isn't enough time to even feed it, to take care of it. So, okay, moving on. So, first of all, don't try to make us feel guilty that you're going to take your dog to the shelter. That is not our fault. It is not our problem. Second of all, okay, we hear a lot that people couldn't find a place that would allow their dog. I know it's tough. I remember when I was 21, I had a Great Dane and a Rottweiler. Those are some hard dogs to find an apartment to live in. And I remember, even at 21, and I'm 40 now, so at 21 I was young and stupid. But it never occurred to me to give up. Like, it just never occurred to me. I can't tell you how many people, when they said, well, what kind of dog do you have? And I told them, and they laughed and hung up on me. It never occurred to me to quit trying. I just called until I found somebody that said yes. Ooh. So, okay. Secondly, we as a rescue have numerous resources of people that we know that do not have breed restrictions. So, contact your local rescue and see if they can't hook you up with somebody who doesn't have any breed restrictions. Secondly, our vice president, Megan, half of her salary, goes to her rent so she can keep her dogs. That's how devoted we have all been, her, all of us, to making sure we keep our dogs. Carrie moved with like 12 dogs. Numerous ones were pit bulls. And, sorry, we're having some issues with the camera. She moved with numerous dogs, and it never occurred to her either to give up until she found a place that would accept them all. And trust me, she got laughed at. So, point being, if you try hard enough, you can always find a place to keep your dog. Okay, third biggest one. I'm having a baby. Having a baby. I had a baby. My little girl is only 3.5. I had a baby, and she was an emergency C-section. Almost lost her. Scary. She was in NICU, which is ICU for babies, for 5 days. That was scary. I came home with 37 staples, and I took care of 10 dogs. Granted, not everybody's me. I get it. Not everybody is as dedicated as I am to making sure that, you know, the dogs are taken care of. However, don't say one is too much if you're having a baby. It's not something we're going to be sympathetic to. Okay, I'm going to have to stop this right now, and I'll be back on in just a minute. My little girl is home right now, and I got to get her situated with some bubble guppies on, some chocolate milk, and some peanuts. So I'll be back in just a minute, and we'll continue this thought. All right, I'm going to try to find my train of thought again. Okay, so pregnant, can't take care of a dog. We've even gotten pregnant, baby's due in a week, and I need to get rid of the dog. Now, the way we look at that is you've had 9 months. 9 months to try to find that dog a home. And suddenly it has to be gone tomorrow. And that's another thing that people need to understand when they call us about an owner surrender. When you tell us it has to be gone tomorrow, we can't help you. It is a rarity that any rescue in the United States has an immediate opening. A no-kill facility. An immediate opening. Just doesn't happen. All of us struggle for foster homes. All of us struggle for money to pay for vet bills. All of us struggle to find room for dogs and to be able to afford those dogs. The reason that you can drop your dog off at the shelter is because they make room for it. Okay, so here's a few suggestions if you need to rehome your dog. 1, anybody can list a dog for free on Pet Finder. Petfinder.com. We've had some great luck with Pet Finder as a rescue. We've adopted dogs off of there. There are a few things that if you're going to rehome your dog into a proper home that you need to do. The number one thing, I cannot stress this enough. The dog needs to be spayed or neutered. Fixed. People that want your dog for the wrong reason will only take it if it's not spayed or neutered. Which means there are a few reasons for that. 1, they want to breed it repeatedly and sell the puppies. Or 2, they're going to fight it, and although that particular dog may not make a whole lot of money for them, if it is a champion in their world, the puppies will. So spay or neuter your dog. There are numerous places that you can go online. I say numerous. There's 2 or 3 that you can go online and they will give you a certificate. I cannot think of the names right now, but if you Google Google it. Financial help to spay or neuter my dog. think it's Spay USA or Spay Nation or something like that. They'll send you a certificate, and then all you have to do is call around to vets' offices and find out which veterinarian offices take it. Second thing, get your dog up to date on shots. If you're trying to find a reputable home for your dog, it needs to be up to date on shots. Most people that are going to pay an adoption fee or are looking for a dog to adopt, it means a whole lot that that dog is up to date on shots. The person who's going to use your dog for the wrong reasons don't give a damn whether your dog is up to date on shots. Okay? Or spayed or neutered, for that matter. Now, the final thing is, and although I understand most people cannot afford this, at the very least, get your dog a heartworm check. It's a heartworm test. It's like, I don't know, $10 to $25 at your vet, and it will let your prospective adopter know that that dog is either heartworm negative or heartworm positive. If your dog is heartworm negative, immediately start it on heartworm preventative, such as Trifexis, which is flea and heartworm preventative, ivermectin, but you need to be careful because you need to have your vet show you how to use that because you can kill your dog if you overdose them. Even if it's heartworm positive, actually you can immediately start on something such as like a heartworm preventative, like that is safe for a heartworm positive dog, such as HeartGuard, so they don't get any worse. But at least then your prospective adopter knows that what they're looking at as far as maybe future vet bills. Okay, now, once you do all that, you charge an adoption fee to get your money back. That way you're not out of pocket for your money. What you've already done is weeded out a lot of people for the wrong reasons. They want your dog for the wrong reasons. Okay, not last. The next most important thing, right next to spaying and neutering, I would even say, like, you can't even put, like, one behind the other. This is the same importance level. Do a home check. Do a home check. Do a home check. Do a home check. Did I say that enough? Do not send your dog somewhere you have never seen. How do you know they don't have 15 pit bulls chained up outside and they are getting yours just for the same reason? You don't, unless you do a home check. Get a copy of their driver's license. And then, finally, go to pbrc.com, or maybe it's .org, I don't know, but it's Pitbull Rescue Central, PBRC. And they have a contract there that anyone can copy, download, print out, and you fill in all the stuff, and it is a legal binding contract saying that your dog will not be used for fighting or illegal purposes such as medical research. Not really too worried about the medical research part. Fighting, yes. Okay, so, spay and neuter, home check, get an adoption fee. Here's the thing, a lot of people are scared to take an adoption fee because they think that, well, maybe this is this really nice couple and they just can't afford the adoption fee, but they'll take great care of my dog. Okay, here's the thing, if they can't afford the adoption fee, then they can't afford annual vet visits. They can't afford monthly heartworm preventative. Then they certainly cannot afford a medical emergency. There's a reason we ask for an adoption fee. There's a reason that if people can't afford it, then we don't adopt out the dog. Another thing you can do, I mean, if you want to just continue on with this, you can also do a vet reference check for people. If they have current dogs, call and make sure that their current dog is up to date on vaccinations and heartworm preventative. If they're not, yours won't be either. These are all things that we do. Okay. Here's a thing that twerks my butt. Listing a dog for free on Craigslist. Do you know what happens to those dogs? Yeah, sometimes maybe 0.5% ends up in a good home, if that much. Has anybody ever heard of a bait dog out there? Rescues like to throw that around a lot, that they get bait dogs in, but I'm gonna be honest, it's a rarity you see a bait dog. You know why? Because they die. They die horrible, cruel, painful, miserable deaths. That's what happens to a bait dog. And don't think that just because maybe you don't have a pit bull that you don't have to worry about that. No, it doesn't matter. Breed of your dog is irrelevant. What a bait dog is it's a poor dog that they chain up to something and then they let their champion fighters tear it apart. Okay? Tear it apart. I've seen personal cases of dogs that have been given away for free on Craigslist that came back, and God only knows how these people got them back, but I've seen the before and after pictures. They were horrible. We had a bait dog one time. Someone had cut behind his Achilles tendons on his back paws, and they attached seat belts. You know, the metal part that buckles in, you wrap the seat belt around, and the part that buckles in down there, the metal part, they had cut it and inserted it around his Achilles tendons so that they could buckle him to something so another dog could rip him apart. Okay? So before you list your dog for free on Craigslist, Mama, keep that in mind. Yes, babe. In just a second, I'll put it on. Can you hang on? She needs another My Little Pony. So hang on. Okay. Sorry about that. It's part of having a little girl. My Little Pony has to be on regularly. Barney. Dora. Go, Diego. Okay. So, did you see that? That's so lack of coordination. Okay, and anyway, bait dog. So don't list your dog for free on Craigslist. Do I think it's a bad idea if you're an individual trying to find a home for your dog to put your dog on Craigslist? If it is spayed and neutered, you're asking adoption fee, and you put in there that a home check is required, no, I don't necessarily think that's a bad idea. But put all that in there. Okay. Also, don't think that this is going to be an overnight thing. It takes time to find a dog, a home for a pit bull, a proper home. So keep that in mind. If you're pregnant and you just found out you're pregnant and you think it might be a stretch to take care of your dog and your baby, start looking now, immediately. Right now, immediately. Okay. Also, one last thing, and then I'll wrap this up because I know I'm kind of long-winded today and not that animated because I'm exhausted. We also get a lot of messages for people asking us to pull dogs from out of Calcasieu Parish. We have done that in the past, and I'm not saying that sometime in the future we might not do that again, but at this point, there are so many dogs in Calcasieu Parish in the city of Lake Charles that need our help that we can't really do that right now. There's just too many dogs here that need our help. Okay, and then the very last thing I'm gonna say, when you're on our page and you see a something about a dog that we have, like Dojo up for adoption or Lita, share it. That's another thing that bothers me. We get a lot of requests to take dogs, but these same people are not sharing our photos. Since we are a no-kill facility, until we adopt one of our dogs out, we can't take another one. That's it. That kennel is taken. For example, Lita has been with us for 2.5, oh my God, 3 years. 3 years. Yeah, 3 years she's been with us. I want you to consider that for a minute. Just think, how many dogs could have gone in her kennel, in and out of her kennel, right? So next time you see a picture of Lita, share it. If we could get her adopted, Bam, that's a dog we could take. Alright, I think that's it. That's gonna be my video for the day again. I'm sorry I haven't been on for a while. And just remember, do the right thing with your dog. Don't be the douche that drops it off at the shelter because you don't have the cojones to take care of it yourself.